move on. I guess, which one do you want to move on to?
Why don't you go and stick
You
with
know
your
what?
PS5 stuff? Go and talk your next game, and
Talk
then I'll talk mine.
talk Returnal. Okay, we'll save the Xbox one for last, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll move on to Returnal. We'll play a little bit of my playthrough, my B-roll. But skip over here. But yeah, so I
Sorry.
but due to recommendation once again from Phoenix, I moved on to a game Returnal. I think he just wants me to join him in co-op. I think he's been itching to kind of blast through. What is it, the Tower of Sisyphus or something?
I
Is that the
don't.
name of the?
I don't even know. I haven't messed with the co-op at all. Like I know you can play the campaign co-op, and then they have an extra mode. And I mean, it's not that I'm dying to play the co-op. I don't know if it's going to make the game better, worse, or somewhere in between. I just wanted somebody else to play the game so I could talk to him about it.
Yeah, because the tower you can see like right at the beginning of the game, like right when you start, it's like, oh, there's the tower, and you can only access that in like co-op. But
But that wasn't there
yeah.
when I played it because I think the DLC was given afterwards, so I don't think they
Oh,
made
that's
mention of it.
interesting. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to go too far into it. I mean, I'm still really early in the game. I feel like I'm maybe 3, 4 hours in. But so far so good. I'm really enjoying it. I will say I'm not quite like blown away like Phoenix thought I might be, but again, I'm still early. Because I guess the major comparison that Phoenix threw at me was a game called, it was a game called Hades that me and you really enjoyed.
Well,
So
I want to
maybe it's
be
because,
careful about your Hades comparison. Like, I only mentioned Hades because, okay, this is technically a roguelike, but I think
mhm,
you're going to do yourself and the game a disservice if you really like straight up
comparing it
compare it to
to
Hades.
Hades.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
fair enough.
besides it being, death loop kind of game. It handles things very, very differently. And it's not that I thought you'd be blown away by it, but I did think you'd like the aesthetic of it because basically aliens in roguelike form. So
I think that's what I like the most. I would say so far, I'm not crazy about the gameplay. Like, I kind of like it's fast, twitchy, and kind of the weapons and all of that, but it's just
hmm.
not. I definitely enjoy the environment and the theme the most. Like, I love this planet. I love the creature designs, the whole. Um, when you. So basically, I guess this whole game, it's just. I'm assuming it's the kind of game where like what is happening is not what actually is happening. But so you play as this lady. I don't remember her name already. What was her name? Uh but you play as this spacefarer,
Oh,
I think
Celine, that's her name.
Celine, yeah, she works for some I'll be honest, I don't really know exactly what's going on, but she works for this company called Astropos, and I don't know, I guess they're more of like discovery, kind of going out and just say finding things. And she lands on this planet and just keeps going through this revolving door of like dying and trying to figure out what's going on this planet, trying to get off of it most importantly. And it's kind of neat. Like it's kind of neat every time you go by, you kind of unlock a new like memory or new some sort of info into her past or into what exactly is going on. There's like this really cool house which, I guess is a representation of her house, and there's all sorts of things that bring back memories. I mean, of course, I'm assuming things aren't what they seem. There's something in the backgrounds controlling what she sees or what's happening. I don't know.
Oh, I'm not gonna get into any of the
Yeah, I
story
don't want
stuff.
spoilers or
Yeah,
nothing, but
I
yeah, I
guess
mean,
I'm
okay.
surprised because you said like the gameplay wasn't what was really catching. Honestly, like I mean, so the theming's good, and I figured you'd like the theming, but this game is really about the gameplay. And if you're not feeling like
Really?
you're jiving with the gameplay, then maybe this won't be a game for you. I loved the gameplay. That for me was hands down the best part of this game. I liked the twitchiness, quick response, kind of bullet hell shooter style 3D stuff.
It just it just doesn't feel as I don't want to say difficult. I've died a lot of times, but it doesn't feel like Hades, man, was like at a time was like brutal.
This
And
game
but like
gets brutal. You like I watched your
really?
first run
Okay.
and you did well. I think you lucked out in your first run a couple of ways. Like this
Hmm.
game, and I think you probably noticed this on your second and third playthrough or your run. It's about the gun you get, and which guns you end up as you go into certain rooms.
Yes. Hmm.
You ended up with a real, I think you had like one of the carbines with a couple of good perks on it when you were
That's my
going into the
favorite gun
first
is the
run.
carbine. Yeah.
Yeah, so that thing pretty much served you really well all the way up through the majority of your first run. When you
Hmm.
went for those second runs, though, I think you had a hard time finding like a good build of a gun,
Hmm.
and I think you struggled a little more because of that. So part of it is, the gun you get, the perks you get with it. Then you have like what the malfunctions and stuff that you can kind of pick up along the way. The game gets hard. Like you probably went through the easiest portion of it. Man, I'm trying to think when the spike really hit me. I think right after I get past Biome 2. You're in technically Biome 2 right now, kind of the red deserty world.
I'm the furthest I got was I made it to the base of the mountain in the red deserty world, and there was a like inhabitant
Yeah.
of the former world, and he was like clearly evil or taken over by something, and he knocked me into a hole and killed me.
So when you get to the boss of that world, I think that's your first big kind of difficulty spike.
Yeah.
So it's not easy. I mean, if you feel like it's been easy so far, I mean, kudos to you, but I'd be very surprised if you feel that way as you progress through it.
Yeah.
When you get into World 3, it gets super brutal, and it just gets harder and harder as you go through stuff.
I think my one like thing that I don't really like is there's so much things that are kind of thrown at you that I don't understand
All the
how they
gameplay mechanics.
benefit or hurt Celine and her trial and her run through, and it's like there's like this affects this and this affects that, and there's like, and most of the time I get it, but there's some that I'm like,
I think what
okay,
made
so
that a little harder for you was you had a really good first playthrough. So in one playthrough, they're throwing all these things at you that most people wouldn't get to even see after like 3 or 4. Like most people like are going to go a few rooms, die, maybe see like one new item, one new tutorial screen, something like that. So they slowly kind of soak it in. But you had a good run all the way up through because you beat that first boss pretty much on your second attempt and made it into the second world. So you were getting all those triggers and tutorials leading all the way up to there, and I think it just probably got kind of overwhelming. So that was kind of interesting to see that because that didn't happen to me. I'm trying to think. I don't remember how many times it took me to beat the first guy because the first time I got to the first boss, I just had a crappy pistol, and he is terrible to fight with a pistol. So he took me a couple of attempts to get through, and by then I had more time to kind of soak in the game systems and stuff like that. So I don't know. I mean, I definitely want to say stick with it.
Oh, I'm going to. I'm going to beat it. I don't know. I'm kind of it. So the game is more about this gameplay, and it's less. Is it less interesting in terms of like what is happening in the story and all of that stuff?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, the story is very interesting. At least I thought it was.
Okay.
It can be kind of a slow drip depending on how far you progress. Like that's one thing I do think, and I know I'm kind of breaking what I said here, but if I compare it to something like Hades, Hades does a really good job like giving you story beats more consistently, even if you don't get far in the game. This game, you kind of have to make some good strides at a certain point to kind of get more of the story kind of delved out to you. But it's got a story, and I don't. Without going to spoilers, I can't really go into it. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was pretty sad, pretty dark, but it was
Interesting.
good. Yeah, but the gameplay is
Okay.
really what this game is about. So I mean, if you're not digging the gameplay at any given point, I don't
Still
know what to
really
tell you.
early. Yeah, I'm still like crazy early in the game, so I don't want to. I don't want to say it. I'm enjoying it, and I definitely want to see it through. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm definitely going to see it through. I want to play it, and I at least want to play it co-op with you. I think that'll be fun to do. But I see. It's early. Again, I don't want to. I don't even want to crap on it. It's so early.
Fair enough. I am curious if co-op is if this is gonna be one of those games where when you go into co-op, if it makes it easier or harder. I don't know if this game scales at all. Initially, I think it would just be easier. Because I mean, I think about I'm going in with my expertise of the game, so I mean I already kind of have more guns at my disposal, stuff like that. So initially, I would think that would make things almost too easy, which is why I wanted you to kind of run through it on your own first. But I don't know if the game scales and throws like extra enemies at you or gives them extra health, or I have no idea. So
Fair enough. All right, guys. Well, I think whenever I beat it, maybe we'll come back and do another little chit chat about it. Kind of give. I think it might be interesting to come back and give my thoughts. Maybe see if I liked it any more, liked it any less. I don't know.